Hey, folks, everyone. My name is Adrian, and Tim is up in the square box above me virtually. What we're here to is just trying to share information, if you haven't heard already, that the Windy City Open Committee is hosting a NAGVA Light lower division. And so we just wanted to share some information of what that's going to be like and kind of roll it out to get people the info they need to register, and really kind of what the idea of what the tournament is for us for this lower level. So kind of this is the outline, just real quick. This will be about 10 minutes of just quick information. So the spirit of this tournament is that we know that there is a large population of Chicago that plays volleyball and might not access or want to play in B or double B division for various reasons. And so we're hosting a tournament so to provide that access to people, to allow them to play, whether they might not be at the appropriate level, or they might just have some fear of having to actually play itself. But here is an opportunity by creating a lower level division for the appropriate skill level to allow access for those people that are interested in that way. So really the spirit of the tournament is, the idea is that it's obviously we want it to be competitive, but at the same time, it isn't about bringing people that are really high level into this level of play. Really, it is to give people experience, to know what it's like to go to a NAGVA tournament, and also to connect with the community. That's really the intent of it. And so we're hoping that when people put and register teams, right, they put the appropriate skill level in place and not try to put somebody that's at a really higher skill level with the intent to kind of win. Again, idea is just about community and trying to grow the ranks of the gay Chicago or LGBTQ Chicago Volleyball League, because we want to grow from the bottom up and try to enhance everybody's skill level and community overall. So Tim will talk a little bit about like why this is kind of a NAGVA affiliate, or why we're affiliating with NAGVA itself. I'll let you take that away. We have no script, folks, so we're just going ad hoc.
Oh, we're just swinging it.
So this isn't like, very professional. We're on a shoestring project, girls, and we are pulling it together, and this is the way we're doing it. So
the perfect pass to me.
Yeah, I think it was a fumble just like this. Anyways.
Yeah, so a few notes on the NAGVA affiliation. So we will be running a NAGVA tournament for our master's levels players in other divisions, but NAGVA does not have a whole lot of C division tournaments. And so in an effort to bring that level of play to Chicago in this tournament style, we're coupling with the NAGVA tournament that's already existing that weekend, but not being sanctioned by the national organization completely. So that's why we wanted to point it out, just in terms of, in case there's any confusion, you might see a lot of NAGVA verbiage on a lot of our documents, or registering that weekend. So we wanted to call that out, but also from a level of play, like Adrian was saying, a lot of players, play a level lower than they would in their local leagues. And so it would be classified as a C division tournament, but you would be playing against B level Chicago players. So we just wanted to call that out, and why there is some NAGVA language, but not entirely, and why the division might be a little bit skewed, and give you that information just in case you've never played a NAGVA tournament or didn't know that was the case. So that's a little bit on the background of why sometimes it'll say NAGVA and sometimes it might not. But Adrian, back to you if you want to talk a little bit about the weekend as a whole.
Thank you, Trisha. So when we're thinking about the weekend overview, the idea here is that we make it close to like NAGVA, is because what you experience here locally is what you more than likely will experience at other levels in other cities when they have NAGVA tournaments too. So this cadence and this rhythm will be very similar, and that's what makes NAGVA so great, is that you can have very similar experiences, meet lots of different people across the country, because that rhythm and that structure is in place. So for the weekend overview, it's usually a 3-day weekend, but play is on Saturday and Sunday. Friday, there's a registration night where people actually socialize and get together. On Saturday, you'll end up playing pool play, which is 8 games competitively amongst the teams. And amongst those 8 games, then the teams will get ranked. And then on Sunday, we'll go to a double elimination, where they'll play in a winner's bracket and keep going until you lose. You go to the loser's bracket, play until you lose. So you have to get eliminated twice in order to get knocked out of the tournament. Overall, the rhythm is always like that for all NAGVA in terms of structure. For social events, I already said something this Friday. Saturday night, we're trying to plan something where all the entire community gets together. We're able to hang out at all levels. And then Sunday, you just play until you hopefully win. If not, you go home and then go out for Sunday fun day in that city. So back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Adrian. Great reporting. A little bit about forming teams. So Adrian and I have sent out a few email blasts to different groups, just trying to gauge interest within the community to see, how many teams would be interested. And we've gotten a lot of interest. So that's why we are filming this video in the hopes to get some information out to folks directly and, get some questions answered about a variety of different things. But so if you've got a team already, that's great. We're going to talk a little bit about the next steps for that. If you've got part of a team and you've filled out that survey, we're working right now to maybe combine some teams or help some free agents get their, get their name in front of you, and maybe you can pick from a free agent list of people that, based on what positions they play, would be the missing piece to your team. And then once you have a full team, we'll get you into kind of that next step. But Adrian and I are here. We've got a number of people across the Chicago volleyball community that we can get in touch with and ask and whatnot. If you're looking for extra players or you need a specific position that you're missing, please reach out to us or post on any of the various Facebook pages that we can give you some links to, and try to get as many players as you can to fill that roster, and we can help you kind of fill in the gaps as possible. We also, obviously 6 people on the court is what's the bare minimum of necessity to get out there and play. But if you want to add a few more people for substitutions or any kind of other reasoning that you'd want for a larger roster, your registration fee will cover you for 8 players. And then beyond that, you would pay an extra fee. So probably between 6 and 8 is probably that sweet spot. But depending on what your plan is for your team, Adrian and I can help you reach out to some folks and help along that route.
So kind of with that, what Tim is talking about is, in order to enable this division and kind of educate people on what this is going to look like, there is player and team support. So player support in terms of like trying to connect people. So that's why Tim and I are reaching out as we're creating lists or people that might have partial teams and trying to combine stuff. There'll be some advisement of how those teams go together, right? It's not that you have to do that, but we're just trying to connect people. In terms of team support, what we'd also like to do is that there are people that are that have maybe a higher skill level, but are interested in mentoring. And so we're going to try to match mentors up with teams so they can understand the mechanics of the weekend. So that includes like understanding how to referee, understanding how to fill out your lineups and rosters, when to get ready, all those things that kind of require you to, like, if you want to have a good weekend and compete, or if you're going to move on, to kind of get educated to the cultural norms of how you might interact in a volleyball tournament. So we're still kind of putting that stuff together. I think the most important thing is that we're trying to get the teams and the registration in line before we start to do some programming and social support. But so this is an experiment, everyone, and really requires everyone's buy-in to kind of do this kind of stuff. We will admit that we're not really sure what we're doing here, but we want to try it, and we do feel like that there is a good sense that this is going to turn out well. But it really requires all of us and some patience. That's why we're running things with like Google Documents and this video itself. But whatever we can do is just the whole intent is just to bring people in, because we believe that if we grow the base, then we can actually everyone starts pushing back up. And that's what we like to do, is still make Chicago like that volleyball hotspot that everyone hears about in other cities, that everyone wants to compete against and knows really, really good. Not that we aren't, but we'd like to continue that. So Tim, just talk a little bit about registration.
Yeah, and so when Adrian says we don't know what we're doing, I would say that's 50% true. We know what we're doing generally. However, doing it in this way is a little bit new to us, in the sense that we're trying to kind of build this from the ground up, going back to what we were saying about the spirit of the tournament, and what we're trying to do here, but also the NAGVA affiliation. We don't have, as many resources as we would putting on, a sanctioned tournament by the national organization. So Adrian alluded to a lot of our Google documents and things like that is what you're going to end up seeing. So bear with us. We're trying to make it as the least bit cumbersome for all of our teams and captains, but making it very efficient and still providing you all and us with the information that everyone needs to make a quality tournament run smoothly. And if you have other ideas or feedback, we're happy to hear that both during but after the tournament as well, so that we can improve in the future. But with that said, registration. So hopefully by the end of this week, so this is January 24th, and hopefully by the end of this week, we will have some information out to folks that are forming teams on how to register. And how that is going to happen is we will send you to a landing page. It'll be a Google document that will have all the information that you need on there. That will direct you to a variety of different places, one of which will be another document that we'll want you to download and fill out with your team roster. Directions will be on that for you to sort through and then email to Adrian and I. And there will also be a link for you to go to the payment page. So all of the fees and stuff will be laid out, but once your roster is emailed in and you have gone to the registration payment page and paid, you will be officially registered, but you'll have to give us a couple of days for us to coordinate with the rest of the team and confirm some things, but then we will send you a confirmation email letting you know that you are paid. It'll show up on our landing page, and we'll be all set. And obviously we'll continue to communicate with you as things get closer in terms of the information that you'll need as we lead up to the weekend. Did I miss anything?
No, you didn't. So with that, thank you, Carrie Lake, and that fuzzy background. So with that, I guess link to the QR code. I think you want to hit next.
Yeah, thank you.
One job.
There it is.
There's the QR code. With that, we'll end here. So in probably 5 seconds, Tim will stop the recording. But yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're working on this. The most important thing is to get registered. So thank you very much, and we will see you guys all soon.